Hi everyone, I'm Shreya Prasad. For those of you who don't know me, thanks Maha and the WeHack team. Appreciate you reaching out and including me in your hackathon. So congrats on putting together a great conference. I attended part of the sessions yesterday, so that was great to see. Just the organization and all the different topics and the discussion. Myself, I'm actually an electrical engineer by degree. I've worked more on the commercial marketing, technical marketing side. And over the last year or so, I actually became a yoga teacher kind of on the side. So I've started teaching classes online. So this is another great opportunity to reach more people. And I mean, who doesn't need self-care now, especially with the coronavirus and everything that's going on. So I'm going to be leading you through a yin yoga practice. If you're not familiar with yin, it's actually more of a restorative practice or of a grounding practice as compared to vinyasa or flow that we're used to seeing and practicing probably here in the West, in the Western world. So this will be really an opportunity for you to just get down on the mat or the ground, or if you're not comfortable with that, you can just sit on a chair or even on the couch. Definitely this is your practice, so do what's comfortable for you. Fortunately, unfortunately, we're at home. We're not able to be convened together. But in the sense of yoga, this is actually beneficial, or it gives you more opportunity to show up how you are today on the mat. So you might notice I'm not sitting cross-legged. Again, just make it comfortable for you, just the easy seat. So I'll go a little bit more into detail into yin as we progress through different postures. We will be going through different postures. However, again, I will be giving modifications for any injuries or anything that you're working through. Definitely listen to your body, whether that's pain or tingling or just doesn't feel comfortable. Invite you to just come back to a comfortable seat, or if that's still not comfortable, just lay on the mat, come out of the pose completely. Again, I don't think we have cameras on, so no one can really see what you're doing. So as long as you're safe in your body and you're breathing, you're practicing yoga. So all that being said, so yin, again, is a complement to yang, or the more active styles of yoga. And we actually hold poses for a little bit longer, just because we can get a better stretch in our body, but also quieting our body quiets our mind, and that allows us to get a little bit deeper into that mind-body connection. So we're able to not only calm our body, but also our mind. So we use gravity to help in some of the poses. So even though it might feel long, it goes quickly. And I think as we progress through the class, I'm not monitoring the chat, but I think Maha, if you want to jump in with any questions, feel free to do that, or I can take them at the end. But again, if you're not already there, I invite you to come just to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you today. And once you're there, just close your eyes. Drop your hands where it's comfortable, whether that's on your legs or on the ground. And just breathe. Just quieting your mind. And just begin to notice that sensation of you taking up space on the mat, or on the ground, or on the chair. You might hear your neighbors or your family, pets, and as much as you can for the next 40 minutes or so, I invite you just to tune in to your space on the mat and into your breath. Don't change anything, but just notice your inhales and your exhales. Breathing in naturally through your nose, and out through your mouth or your nose. It might feel nice to keep one hand on your chest and one on your belly. You can feel your belly fill with air and move up to your throat. And then on an exhale, we exhale all the air. Just go a few rounds on your own, in your own time. If you like, you can set an intention for your practice today. It's optional. I like to use I am supported. I am supported by the ground. I am supported by gravity. You can use like I am and then maybe calm, or I am at peace. Just offerings, take what you like or set your own. Just beginning to quiet your mind as we start to move into our postures. So, if you don't have it already, you can grab some pillows or a rolled up blanket. I use a lot of props, but these are just optional. So if you want to go ahead and grab that, you can do that now. And then move any props that you may have grabbed. And then we're going to start in the tabletop position. Coming to all fours. So roughly, and this will be vary from each person by each person. So we'll have our palms under our shoulders and then our knees under our hips. And just beginning to ground yourself into the posture. And we'll start with our cat and cow, just to get our body moving a little bit. And this can be gentle, it doesn't have to be exaggerated, so you can go as much or as little as you want. Just some few rounds, slow breaths. Eyes can be open or closed, and just breathe through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. If this is too much on your wrists, you can go up onto your fists, or you can even come all the way down to your forearms. We won't be here long. If there's room in your body, if you're not working through any neck issues, you can just start circling your neck, getting some range of motion. I know this is a morning class, so maybe it feels nice to wake up slowly through some stretching. If not, you can skip the stretching of the neck. So from here, we're going to go all the way down to our belly, so just slowly make your way down. And you can actually use your arms as a little pillow and your hands as a little pillow. And just for a moment, let's breathe here. And then we can notice that sensation of hearing our body, or hearing our belly and our heart as we're breathing, since we're on the ground, compared to how it was just a moment ago when we were seated. Just a quick breath here, a couple breaths. And from here, we'll go into Sphinx posture, our first again posture for the day. You can bring our forearms onto the mat, kind of in a 90-degree angle like this, or so that's the pose, but again, invite you to take some options, which are optional, hence options, but these are just invitations for you. If it's comfortable for you, you can actually put a pillow here. I'm using a bolster. and just lay across it. It takes some of the weight out of your back. Other options are you can put pillow underneath your legs, give you a little bit more support for your back. Or you can just lay all the way flat on the mat like we were. And then we'll hold this posture for a couple minutes. So feel free to play with the options, but once you're there, just settle in and breathe. So Sphinx is, this posture helps us breathe deeply into our chest and as well as our upper back. And it can also improve any low back pain and spine flexibility. Just another minute here. Remember to breathe. Slowly coming out of the pose, no rush. And we'll pass back through tabletop. So make your way there slowly. If you like, you can do some more cat-cows before we transition to our next pose. And that pose will be child's pose. So we'll be bringing our weight all the way back to the back of our mat. If you want to arrive in child's pose and you know where we're going, that's fine. Go ahead. For those of you who like to be guided, you can keep your big toes to touch, or that doesn't work great on my body, so I'm going to keep my legs parallel to my mat. So these are just two different options. And then we'll just shift all our weight, our hips back to the back of the mat. And if your head reaches the ground, you can just bring it down. Or if it's too far, you can bring a prop here and give your head a little bit more support. Put your hands into the ground, whether that's here, giving you a stretch, or closer to your body, taking some of the weight out, or even behind your body, just to counterbalance the front and the back. And we'll be here for a few minutes. This should feel like a restorative, gentle stretch. It's the opposite motion of what we just did with Sphinx. If you've been to a yoga class before, I'm sure you've done child's pose. This is another one that's good for your low back and your full back. It stretches it out, and it helps calm your nerves, and it encourages relaxation. So this is a good one to do after being seated at a desk or just in one position for a long time. in the flow classes, child's pose is actually very similar to down dog. You can see the shape here, like kind of the V forming, but this is just a more restorative version of that. Since we're not engaging our muscles. When you're ready, you can come out of child's pose, and we'll be facing the front for the next pose. If you have a prop, such as a pillow, rolled up blanket, I encourage you to bring it with you. Having a little bit of height would be helpful for this pose. So we'll be coming into a wide-legged forward fold. The extra height just lets you hinge forward a bit, and it gives you just more of a stable base, and you can get deeper into the stretch. Again, that's optional. So I'll give you a couple different versions of this pose. So if you have space in your body, you can keep your legs straight, kind of in a V, just that wide-legged stance. If that's not comfortable, you can bring your legs parallel to your, or I guess perpendicular to your mat, and you can go from there. So it can be wide-legged or straight-legged. If your legs are tight, I encourage you to bend your knees, and you can do this pose even here. You don't have to hinge forward too much. Again, just do what's comfortable for your body and safe. So we can, essentially, we're going to inhale and then exhale, hinge or fold forward. So I invite you to bring your tummy in. In our society, we all put all of our pressure and our stress in our back. So this is another good stretch for your back, but it's also a good inner thigh stretch. So you can do a couple stretches in one, basically. And then I always invite you to drop your head or give your head a little bit of a break. We always are lifting it up, so just giving it a chance to restore is also good. So if you have something available, you can stack it up like this, or you can even make up your own modifications. So once you're there, just arrive and be still, and we'll be here for a few minutes. Knowing you can try something, and if it doesn't work, you can go back to another option. I mentioned this wide-legged forward fold, wide-legged straddle posture. It opens up your inner legs to improve lower body flexibility, and it can be decompressing on your spine. It's also a good pose to do after a workout. If the hinging forward is too much, you can always come back up and just stretch your legs. Just close your eyes and breathe. About another 40 seconds here. Just slowly, in your own time, come out of the pose. And we'll be making our way onto our backs, so knowing we're going there, you can get there you can make your way there. So moving any props that you may have used. So take a moment just to arrive on your backs. This is the first time we've been on our backs in class. So if there's room in your body, you can lay flat on the mat. If you have any issues or popping that you like, any issues you're working through, you can just bring a pillow or whatever makes you comfortable. Low back, you can keep your knees bent, or you can keep your legs straight, whatever is comfortable. So here, before we move to our next pose, I just invite you to do a quick body scan. And this is something you can do anytime where you have, where you're seated, you're standing, you're at your desk. Please don't do it while you're driving. Just a quick scan that can help you ground yourself. So we'll start with our feet and then go up to our head. So we're just going to feel our connection to the ground or to the mat. We have our heels, calves, hamstring, glutes, low back, and our abs and our stomach, our mid back, and our ribs, upper back and neck, shoulders, forearms, lower arms, palms of our hands, our fingers, back up to our neck, the back of our neck, chin, face, all the way up to our forehead and top of our head. So from here, we'll go to our next posture, which is a reverse or supported butterfly. So essentially, we're going to do the opposite of what we just did with our wide-legged forward fold. In that pose, we stretched our inner thighs. So here, we're going to stretch our outer thighs. So rather than going inward, we'll be going outward. I'll show you without props first. So essentially, we're just going to fan our feet out, our knees out. So if you have space in your body, you can have your feet touching here. If not, there could be a gap. The trick here is the closer your feet are to your body, the more of a stretch. So if you want a little bit less of a stretch or less intensity, you can move your feet out more towards your legs being straight. And then to give yourself a break, you can use a prop under your knees to help support your legs, and then that actually allows gravity to do more of the work for you, so you can get deeper into the posture. So that'll look like this, and it should feel pretty nice, just like a nice release. And once you're arrived there, we'll be there for a few minutes. Hands can be on your belly, which might feel nice, or just on the ground. Close your eyes and breathe. So reclining butterfly, this pose helps, as I mentioned, it's a good opportunity to give yourself rest and a break from a counter pose to what we just did. As I mentioned, letting gravity do the work for us is just a nice way for our body to release into the stretch. If that doesn't work for you, you can keep your legs straight. Your neck can be more comfortable, neutral, nothing hyperextension, just in line with your spine. Just remembering to breathe. Slowly coming out of the pose, moving any props. So we're going to come into a supported bridge. So first I'll show up again without the prop. So bridge is essentially, you'll have your feet on the mat, and then we're going to keep our belly down. Kind of do just a small pelvic tilt to bring our back onto the mat. And then we'll be lifting our hips. You can press your hands into the ground. So this is the bridge. What makes it supported is gravity will do the work for you. So you can do that, or if you don't have a prop, you can just use your fists, or you can even just keep it on the ground, whatever works best for you. It should just feel restorative and nice. You can press your feet into the mat just to ground yourself some more. And same with your arms, just pressing your palms into the mat. Then we'll be here for a couple minutes. So this pose is actually an inversion. It helps, again, it helps your back, any back discomfort. It can help shift your focus. It's a good pose that you can do for calming your mind and body in theme with our class here. So inversion, actually, you can keep your legs up, whether that's 45 degree or almost straight, or I guess that would be 90 degrees, or anywhere in between. So that would take some weight out of your body, weight out of your feet. And then I like to do this sometimes, like at the end of the day where your feet are tired. It just gives it an opportunity to do a little break. If you're there, you can just do some quick circles with your feet, up and down. But it shifts your focus. So that's just one quick way that if you're experiencing stress or anxiety, anything like that, you just need a quick break. This is a good one to do. If your focus has shifted, no worries, just bring it back to the breath, or you can recall your intention. I'm kind of rocking, making this like a happy baby. You can do that if you like. And when you're ready, if you brought your legs up, you can bring them back to the mat. And so from here, we're gonna go into a twist. So if you like, you can keep that support underneath your back just to give you some more stability. However, we will be twisting, so just be careful. We're going to be twisting both sides. So essentially, again, I'll show you without the prop. We're going to bring our knees up to our chest, and then we'll shift that whole stack to one side, and we'll be doing both sides. So it might look different for each of you. If this is too much of a stretch, you can definitely bring a prop up here or even in between your legs. If that's too much on your hips, you can drop one leg, make it straight or bent. Plenty of options here, so you can just make it your own. And I mentioned, if you like, keep a block or a pillow underneath you. So, can't reach my prop, but this is essentially where we're going. And we'll be there for a few minutes. Should be a nice release. Nothing too intense. You can always back off the pose a little bit and then see how that feels. Twists are important to our body. Just with sitting at desks and just the nature of our Western lives, just stress, it's important to keep our bodies moving, keeping our spinal mobility, and twists are a good way to help us do that. So here we're moving, left and right. When we did cat and cow, we're moving forward and backwards. So it's important to move our spines in different directions. If you have space in your neck, it might be nice to look on the opposite arm. Just glance that way. Palms can be up or down, or hands are really comfortable. Just another 20 seconds here. Slowly coming back to center. Just take a moment to kind of reset yourself. Whether that's bringing your legs in and just giving yourself a little bit of a low back massage. Or you can also drop your legs with your knees bent and just windshield wiper your legs. Before we transition to the other side, knowing this side might be different, feel different, can be looser, tighter. No judgment, just beginning to notice the sensations in your body. So you can take the same option, or again, it might be different on this side. Set the timer for 2 minutes. So obviously this twist is done while we're laying on our back, so it's a spinal twist. We can do this also while seated or standing. So really all these poses are, you can do it at different levels of height, I guess. So doing it on the ground allows us to not be too much of a stretch. So it allows us a little bit more grounding, stability. Removing any props you may have grabbed, used. Before we go into our final resting pose, corpse pose, if there's any other poses you'd like to do, I would invite you to do that now. I mentioned the happy baby earlier. So essentially, we're going to keep our, if you want to do that, you can keep your legs bent, grab whatever is available, whether that's your feet, or your calves, and then you can just rock them side to side, like a baby, looking out at the world. Or you can stay stationary too. This is a nice transition posture, but it's also a posture in itself, so we'll just be here for a bit. And then when you're ready, you can extend your legs long, letting your feet flop out. We'll be here for a few minutes, so you might get cold. If you want to grab a pillow, you can grab a blanket or a sweatshirt. And then if you want to prop yourself up a little bit, just for more support, you can. So corpse pose, again, if you've been to a yoga class, this is always the final posture. It's just an opportunity to give yourself a rest and give yourself thanks for coming to the mat and doing the good work that we've done in class. So your job is just to breathe, letting gravity support you. If your mind can recall the body scan, just do it in your mind. Or not, you can focus on the breath or your intention. Just breathe. Just another minute or so here. And slowly begin to wiggle your toes, your fingers, waking up that body, getting that blood flowing again. If you feel like it, you can just stretch your arms over your head like you're waking up. Then when you're ready, we'll just meet in a fetal position on your left side. You can use your hands as a little pillow. And then in your own time, you can press your palms into the mat, and then we'll meet back facing forward like at the beginning of class. Bring any props you want with you. So you can keep your eyes closed just for a moment, and you can just do a couple shoulder circles to the back. And now, if you like, you can also just do a quick neck stretch. Hands can be on thighs or at heart center. Excuse me. I like to close practice with one Om. You can join in or just listen. So we'll inhale and then exhale Om. Om. Thank yourself for showing up to the mat today. Sometimes that's the hardest part. Again, appreciate being part of the We Hack with your UT Dallas group, so thanks for the opportunity. Again, knowing that there's many places we could be right now, we could even be asleep. It's nice that you took the time for yourself and came to the mat, knowing that you can take these practices with you throughout your day and your week, but more importantly, if you focus on the breath as you shift through your day, it can help calm your mind and your body. Thank you. Namaste.